So we gotta find the median of these guys. The first thing you should do to find the median is rearrange all the numbers from in order. I usually go from smallest to the vectors. Doesn't really matter. 2, 11, 18, 36, 36, and 61. So say I go from smallest to the vectors, right? And your game is to find the number in the middle. And the best way to do it is, how about this? I'll take out the first guy and the last guy. Then I take out the second and the second to the last guy. I want to find a guy in the middle. Here's the problem. I have two numbers in the middle, right? If you have a number in the middle right here, that's your answer. But right now, you have two. So if you have two guys in the middle, here's what you got to do. Take the mean of those three. Take the average of those two guys. Add them together, divide by 2. So that will be what, 54 over 2? So that's 27. So the median of these guys is 27. So median is definitely more difficult to find than the mean, right? So a little bit more difficult. And the last one is the mode. Number 15, the mode. Just remember for the mode is the guy that repeats itself the most. So which number out of these guys repeats itself the most? Well, there's only one guy that repeats, and that's 93. So 93 is your mode. Now you can have more than one mode. Let's say you have another number like 13 that repeats itself, right? Then you could have 93 and 13 at the same time as a mode. But usually it's the one that has the most repeats. The guy that has the most repeats, that's your mode. Now number 16 is actually not too bad. Number 16 is 980, and you want the prime factorization. So the prime factorization for this guy, you just gotta figure it out by the factor tree. So the tree is gonna be like this. I know that 980 can be divided by 10. Anytime I say a 0, I just use 10. It's just a lot easier that way. Then I look at this mass and say, hey, 10 is 2 times 5, right? And 98 is an even number. So 2 go in there, you divide it by 2, and that's going to be 49. And the only guy left over is a 49, which is 7 times 7. And that's the best we can do. That's the lowest we can break it down, right? So that will be 2 times 2 times 5 times 7 times 7. Remember, just write all the prime numbers at the end. All the numbers at the end of the branches. Just go ahead and put them all together. That's the prime factorization. You just broke down 980 into a bunch of prime numbers. Now what about number 17? 17 is 30 over 63. times 7 over 100. Just gotta make sure you don't confuse that with addition and subtraction. When you add and subtract, you need common denominator. But when you multiply, it's simply multiply across. The problem is these numbers are a little bit bigger, so you have to simplify, right, if you can. So let me just kind of rewrite this right here. The first simplification I see is a 30 and a 100. They both have a 0, right? They both can be divided by 10. Basically, the 0 will get crossed out. 1 0 each get crossed out. Then I think about a 7 and a 43. Hey, 7 times 9 is 43, right? So 7 times 7 divided by 7 is 1, right? 43 divided by 7 is 9. So that looks not so bad, right? Let me rewrite this guy. 3 over 9 times 1 over 10. Now some of you guys already see it, the 3 and 9. You can simplify that too, right? 3 goes into 9 3 times, so that's 1 and that's 3. So that's 1 over 30, right? And that's it, that's the answer. This one looked tough, but it's not so bad once you start simplifying. Now, number 18. So for number 18, here's a game that you gotta play. These guys, the mixed number guys, I don't know how to do it. So change everybody to just fraction. It's gonna be a whole lot easier that way. So do the multiplication, 6 times 8 is 48, right? Plus 3 is 51. So it's 51 over 8. Then 4 times 25 is 100, plus 2 is 102 over 25. And when you divide by a fraction, it's what the KFC thing, right? Keep, change, flip. So keep the first guy, change that to multiplication, and always flip the second guy. So 25 over 102. And then you look at 51 and 102. I know it's hard to see if they can be simplified, but remember the trick I told you. Add them together. Add the digits together. 5 plus 1 is 6, right? 3 can go to 6, so 3 can go to 51. Okay, let's try this one. 1 plus 0 plus 2 is 3. Okay, 3 can be divided by 3, so 3 is a common factor. And if you don't remember that trick, just use your calculator. Divide by 3, just to see if it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But 3 doesn't, it does go in there. So 3 goes in 17 times, 3 goes in here 34 times, right? And I think that's the best you can do. Now multiply straight across. What do you get? 17 times 25 is 425. 8 times 34, 272. Yeah, ugly numbers. I don't like this. It's too big. Now, before you say it's done, well, here's the issue. They gave you all mixed numbers. When they give you all mixed numbers, they expect a mixed number back. So you got to do the long division. Right. You can use a calculator, but 425 divided by 272. I know that's a big number, but this guy can only go into one time. You can use a calculator to help you, right? And then just subtract. So that's 3, and that's 5, and that's 152. 150. So the answer would be 1 and 153. over 272. And that's the best you can. This one is rough because of the maximum. The actual operation isn't so bad. So that's looking number 19. So number 19 has Barry takes 3.5 hours to detail a car. And he works 21 hours during the week. How many cars can he actually detail? Well, just think about this every time. The total divided by each one. So the total hours that he works is 21 hours. So that would be 21 divided by 3.5. So that's a game you're gonna play. Take the total divided by how much is needed for just one. And from that point on, just work it out. So that would be what? 21 over 1, right? Divided by, change that to improper fraction, right? So that 3 times 2 is 6, that's 7 over 2. Same thing, keep change flip. So now 21 over 1 times 2 over 7. And look at the 7. 7 go to 21, right? 3 times. So 3 times 2 is 6. That means this guy was able to detail 6 cars within that 21 hours, if he doesn't take any break. I guess you gotta take a break, right? Or actually 21 hours during the week. So could be different days. Now let's look at number 20. Number 20 is the LCM problem. LCM between 10, 3, 6, and 9. So this guy gets a little bit crazy. But listen, man. The operation is the same every single time. Take the biggest number you got. And then you can write, 9, 6, and 3, right? I do it in order. The big number goes first. Then you start to put on the small numbers down. Then I start going, hey, 10 times 2 is 20, right? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Oh, I don't know why I did this. 70, 80, 90, 100. I'll start with 100. Then the game is, how can the 9 go into 20? No. So that's a no, right? 9 cannot go to 30, right? 9 can't go to 40. 9 can't go to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Yes, 9. Okay, so 9 can go to 90. That's all we got so far. What about a 6? Well, for the 6, you don't have to worry about any of these crosses. Just look at 90. Can 6 go to 90? Yeah. It goes in there 15 times, actually. Check. 3 can go to 90 for sure. Check. So guess what? That's your LC. Always start with the big number. Right? From the biggest to the smallest. And this will be not easy, but it will be easier than if you just Because a lot of people, they start to look for numbers. They look for numbers like, they just guess, like 100, 120, and it doesn't work like that. Let's look at 21. Number 21 is you have a pipe that need to be shortened. Shorten always means subtraction. So it's 2/7 minus 1/6. And this guy is all about common denominator. And I don't know if you guys still like this one, but remember the smiley thing we did? Just do the smiley thing. Cross multiply, right? And then smiley. Meaning you're gonna get 6 times 2 is 12. 7 times 1 is 7. The bottom, just do 7 times 6, and that's 42, right? So that would be 5/2. And that's the best you can do. That's it. So this one's actually not too bad. It's just to test your ability to add 2 fractions. Once you get that done, you're good to go. Let's look at number 22. 22, let's see. Six over 49 plus 2/14. It's very similar. Now, those who have some of you guys who are good with the common denominator, you might recognize that, hey, 49 is 7 times 7, 14 is 2 times 7. So how to get the lowest common denominator? You can just times 7 here and times 2 here, but if you don't like that, that's cool. I'm just gonna do the same thing as this one, because it's just easier that way. I will do cross like this, right? Cross like that. And then the smiley face. Because that way I get the answer every single time. And I don't have to think about which one's the common denominator, which one's what. So you get 6 times 14. That's a big number. 24, that's 84, right? Plus 2 times 49 is 98, I think. 49 times 49, that's the big one. That's the one you actually, let's put in the calculator. 49 times 14, 686. So, okay. Add the top together, and I get 182. And we're not done yet, because you got a bunch of even numbers in there. So let's go ahead and divide. Let's divide by 2 to see what happens. So divide by 2 on top and the bottom. I get 91 over 343. And can I do any better than that? See, 3 will not go in. So let me try 7. Try 7 and see what works. Remember 7 and 11? Just put in the calculator to see if it works. It may not work, but let's try. So 91 divided by 7, I got is 13. 343 divided by 7 is 49, okay. So it's 13 over 49. And like I said, right, let's say you stop right here and you did not do any more. I'll just take a point off, if at that, right? I might be nice and just say, you know what, I'll accept whatever. 23. So for number 23, you can look at six and 1/8. Minus 2 and 3/16. So tough problem. Because all the mixed numbers, right? The way I do it, man, is like, hey, I don't care what they give me. If they give me a mixed number, I just change everybody in proper fashion. It's just easy that way. So 6 times 8 is 48. That's 49/8, right? This one's dead. And then 2 times 16 is 32, plus 3 is 35. So 35/16. Now you could do the smiley face again and get the answer. But I think this one is obvious enough. You might be able to see right away. Look at the bottom. 1 is 8, 1 is 16, right? Hey, 8 times 2 is 16, right? So here's what I would do. Now you can do the smiley face and get the answer, but you can do a shortcut and multiply by 2. Because 8 times 2 is 16. Your goal is to make the bottom the same. So that will work too. So that's 98/16 minus 35/16. If you don't like this, just do the smiley face and you get the same answer. It's just a little bit longer. So 98 minus 35 is 63/16. And just do the long division, right? Change it back to mixed number. So 5, 4. I think 4, no, 4 is too big. So 3 is the best. 3 times 6, 18. I think that's 48. That's 5. That's 15 left. Better. Yep. So that will be 3 and 15/16. Not an easy problem. But by changing in proper fashion, you make it a little bit more manageable. 24. So for number 24, you're looking at 2, this is hard. So 24 this one. 2/3 minus 7/12 divided by 1/16 plus 1/6. So this one is rough. And I'll be easy when I grade it, right? I'll be easy. So if you make some silly mistake in the middle, I might just cut whatever. But I would say this should be one of the last 2 problems you do. Right? That's why it's on 24. You should look at first parentheses. You gotta do these 2 first. And look at this, right? You know, wait a minute. 3 times 4 is 12, right? So that's the easy one. So you can do this. times 4 times 4, unlike this, because then you get 8 over 12 minus 7 over 12. So you can basically clean that up already. And that will become 1 over 12, right? If you want to kind of do them all in order, right? Now let's work on the guy on the right. You got 16 and you have 6. Well, the way I see it is, you can do a smiley face if you want, right? So that will be 6 plus 16, and 6 times 16 is what? 96. So I get 22 over 96. So in one step, all those parameters are gone. All we have left is just a bunch of, just 2 fractions. And now it's a division. And remember, division is what? KFC, right? Keep, change, flip. Always flip the second guy. And now think, that's even, that's even. So I can divide by 2, right? Or this one and this one, doesn't matter. Oh, you know what? Here's the best one. 12 can be divided by 4, right? 4 can go in here too. So divided by 4, that's 3. Divided by 4, you get 14, right? Now 14 and 22, that can be simplified. So that will be 7 and that will be 11, right? So that's 7 over 33. And that's the answer for number 24. 24 is hard. That's probably the hardest problem alongside number 25. And now to the last problem. So the very last problem is an average problem. You're looking for the average of six over 7, 1 over 8, and 3 1/4. Now this guy's no joke, because to find the average, you always got to find the sum, then divided by 3 in this case. Well, how do you find the sum? 6 over 7 plus 1 over 8 plus 3 1/4. Then you divide it by 3. So the way I would do it is, I will change the 3 1/4 into just mixed number first. So that will be what? 6 over 7 plus 1 over 8. 3 times 4 is 12. That's 13 over 4, right? So I'll work on the guys on the right first, on the left first. Inside the brackets. Now here's the way I look at it. I do not have to add all 3 fractions at the same time. Nobody's saying that I have to do all 3 exactly at the same time. I will leave out the 6 over 7 for now. Why is that? Because look at this. Can 4 go to 8? 2 times. I deal with these 2 first. I mean, you can do what you want, but for me, that's easy. I'll multiply by 2, because then I get 8, right? So let's see. That's 6 over 7 plus 1 over 8 plus 26 over 8, right? That's right. I will deal with these 2 guys first, because they're already coming in the denominator. That's 27, right? I'll run out of space. So that's 6 over 7 plus 27 over 8, and divide by 3. And now I can do what I do best. I can now do the smiley face. So that'll be 6 times 8 is 48. 27 times 7, oof, I don't know, 49. That'll be 189 over 56 divided by 3. Then 48 plus 189 is what? 7,237. We don't need the decimal anymore. That's and now divide by 3 means this guy's 3 over 1, right? The whole number becomes 3 over 1. And this keep change flip again. 237 over 56 times 1 over 3. And this time, there's nothing you can do, I think. Oh, there's something you can do. Look at this. Can 3 go in this number? That's the question. 2 plus 3 is 5, right? 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 can be divided by 3. Or you can use a calculator. So, cross it out. Divided by 3, what do you get? 79. So it's 79 over 56. And you know what? Just leave it like this. You don't need mixed number. And if you do mixed number, it's not wrong. You don't have to. And why is it that you don't have to? Not everybody here are mixed number, right? And this is a hard problem. You already did everything you can. That's good enough. And that concludes the midterm review. 25 problems.